Most of us are better at describing someone else than describing ourselves. Wait, what? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Teddy, and I've been going to therapy for about 7 months now. In this video, I'm going to talk about how therapy can greatly improve your life. If that interests you, subscribe to this channel and stick around to the end of the video. What did I mean by the question that I posed at the beginning of this video? Well, our conscious mind spend a lot of time focusing on the external world rather than focusing on the internal world. And because of that, it's easier for us to describe other people than ourselves. In this video, I'm going to share 3 major ways that therapy can greatly improve our lives. We all have our own stories and traumas and incidents that have shaped us into who we are. The first major way that therapy can greatly improve our lives is by helping us become aware. We can become aware of what's going on inside of us, and then we can befriend what's going on inside of us. How does therapy help you achieve this? Well, there are many forms of treatment that you can experience in therapy, but in this video, I'm going to talk about 2 types of evidence-based psychotherapy that I've been able to experience in my own sessions. One example is cognitive behavioral therapy. The idea here is that you identify and change unhelpful thought patterns and behaviors, and by doing so, you can improve your actions, which will in turn improve your overall well-being. Something that I've learned about CBT through experiencing it with my therapist and also reading about various forms of therapy is that by repeated exposure to a negative stimulus or something that generates negative feelings inside of you that are related to past stories or traumas, by doing so in a safe environment, you eventually teach yourself and show your mind and your body that it's okay to feel those feelings and then to eventually move on from them. A second example is acceptance and commitment therapy. This one is similar to CBT, but the major difference here is that you're not focusing on changing your thought patterns. Rather, you're focusing on accepting them. But it goes one step further. Rather than just accepting these thoughts, you then focus on living out your values. For me, as I've been exposed to this form of therapy with my therapist, it's really been about honoring the values that I hold close to my heart and looking at my thoughts and my actions and determining if those align with my values. It requires some time and reflection to figure out what your values are, but once you have those ironed out and you're clear on what they are, then you can analyze various situations in your lives or situations that come up and figure out if those actually align with your values. The great thing about ACT is that there's no judgment involved. It's simply accepting and committing to your values. Both of those examples of evidence-based psychotherapies overall help you to develop the skill of mindfulness. So once you develop that skill, what's next? The second major way that therapy can greatly improve your life is then to be able to help you to gain control over your emotions. Once you develop the skill of mindfulness, you then begin to see the ebbs and flows of emotions in your life, and that's when you're then able to start controlling them. Certain questions that have popped up in my head as I've been going through my therapy sessions are, where am I feeling these sensations in my body? What's causing these sensations in my body? I'll share a major gem with you that I picked up in therapy from the past 7 months. Shout out to my therapist for this one. But she helped me to understand anger better. I used to say that I didn't like feeling angry, and I used to say that it was a negative emotion that I just never wanted to feel. However, through ACT and CBT exposure, my therapist helped me to understand that anger is actually a good thing. Anger helps you to understand when your boundaries are being crossed. And so now, rather than not wanting to feel anger, I now recognize when I'm feeling anger. I try to determine where I'm feeling it in my body. And then now I use it as a tool, and I understand that whatever's happening to me, my boundaries are being crossed. And so I now view it as a positive emotion, as something that helps me to understand what's going on. Although that's a simple example, that's an absolutely mind-blowing way that I've been able to gain control over my emotions. Anger was an emotion that I had a hard time dealing with. It was an emotion that I never felt like I had control over. But just because I changed my perspective on it and I understood its role in my life, I've now used it as a tool, and it's been very valuable for me. I'm guessing that you're starting to see this natural progression of what happens when you do therapy and how it can greatly improve your life. The third major way that therapy can improve your life is by helping you to feel your feelings and to describe them in a clear and articulate way. Think back to the question that I posed at the beginning of this video. Most of us are better at describing others than describing ourselves. We don't spend a lot of time describing our feelings or what we're feeling inside. It wasn't until I started doing therapy where I found myself in these uncomfortable situations where I actually had to dig deep and describe what I was actually feeling inside. That really showed me the limitations of articulating our feelings and the limitations of language. And it isn't until you do something like therapy where you practice describing what you're feeling inside that you can release those feelings. I'm sure a lot of you have heard that writing is very therapeutic. Writing is incredible because you transfer your thoughts onto paper and you release and you see these truths that were inside of you that you didn't realize. This was a major skill that I was not anticipating I would work on when I started therapy, but it's been invaluable for me because being able to describe what I'm feeling helps me to process what I'm feeling and then to move on from it. This is a major way that it can help you because it helps you to stay in touch with yourself and integrate these experiences that you've had, and so that you can continue on with your life. I want to be clear here. The goal of therapy is not to erase traumatic memories. The goal of therapy is to help you to fully process these feelings and these memories that you have, and to integrate them into the overall story of your life. By looking inwards, you give yourself the best chance to take full ownership of your life, to take full ownership of how you respond in various situations, and to take full ownership of how you conduct yourself overall. I know there's a stigma behind therapy, and there are lots of people who feel like they don't need it. But I'm here to tell you, as someone who's been in therapy for 7 months, if you choose to take this path, it will greatly improve your life. My only regret regarding therapy is that I didn't start sooner. By now, you will have noted that by becoming aware, you can shift your perspective and then choose how you want to respond. Conveniently, I made a video about a book called Be the Person You Want to Find by Sherry Huber. It gives you the tools that you need to practice this and to change your life and improve it. If that interests you, check it out here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.